Hello everybody and welcome back to Student Budgets. I'm basically just filming a very quick intro to this. This is a really long video, so please feel free to get like a cup of tea or something. There's going to be a cash stuffing at the end of this, which is about 20 minutes in. But feel free to watch, skip along as much as you need to, and enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy. But what I am going to start off with is we're going to begin laying down the stickers. So we haven't done this in the past 2 months because I lost the stickers again. I know. But I managed to find them. I think I explained in my mid-March update video. You can tell my voice still isn't perfect yet. So there might be a bit of a change in how I sound on these clips compared to the clips at home, because I don't know when I'm going to film them, and they're probably going to be filmed quite a bit later, because this video is not going to go up till the 3rd of April, and I'm filming this on the 20th of March. But anyways, you don't care about that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pop you into my favourite time lapse, and I'm going to put the April stickers down. I'm also then going to lay down the stickers from 1 to 30 for April. I just also want to say that Ira's done a cracking job on this. I love this month's display. I've been really excited to do this one. So let me do that. So let's pop these into a time lapse and let's get started. So let's get started, and we're going to do something that I haven't done before in one of these videos, but we are going to do some months. Now, we haven't done the reflection video yet for March, simply because it's not the end of March yet, but March for us has been quite successful so far. I'm hoping that's going to continue when I go home. So in terms of what I do want to focus on for the month coming up for April, I want to continue the no spends. So I'm going to continue the success in no spends, because I think with March I found a formula at uni that begins to work with the no spend, and I think it kind of incorporates what I meant, or at least how I wanted it to look when I mentioned in my New Year video. So I think in my New Year video, filmed back in December, I mentioned how I wanted to have more no spend days, but also on the days I do spend, I spend more. So what I mean by that is, I think originally my brain kind of took that to be, well, if I've spent on one day, I can justify as many spends as I want. But what I think that's now coming down to is, if, for example, I know I'm going to go on a night out, I will go on the night out. But then if I know I've got to do my laundry, I'll try and put that on the same day. And if I need to do a grocery shop, I'll try and do that on the same day. And then all those spends come together. And then it means that we have more no spend days across the month. And I think that worked perfectly. So I'll give you a little bit of a preview into what the budget, or at least what the month looks like so far for March. So as you can tell, on every time on a day we have spent, they've all been on days I've planned to spend on. So I knew I was going to spend on a day out here, like a night out here. I knew I had a grocery shop to do here. I knew I needed to do some shopping on this day. I knew on this day that I was going to be going out for brunch with one of my friends. I knew I had to do a little grocery shop and my laundry. I knew here on this day I just wasn't very well, so I needed to get some supplies in, and so I got everything in that I needed to, instead of scattering it out. And then here I knew I was going to get a sweet treat because it was the final day of term, and I think that is justified, because I've been to every single lecture, every single seminar, got all my assessments done weeks early, and I've finished a project almost that is due at the end of April. I think that was justified, and it was only £1.50. Very nice chocolate eclair from Greggs, I will say so myself. So I really want to continue that, and I think that is something that I want to continue. So I think I did set my goal for that. So I want to say in the month of April, I want 15 days. So that is half of the days in April. Now, there will be more spend days than there will be in March because I am going on holiday. And I know that's there. I know it's my birthday. I know I will treat myself. But I always want to continue the low spend month. So I have got money set aside for holiday. I've got money set aside for for my birthday. So like in terms of what I'm going to spend using my own money in the savings challenge that you will have seen. So anything that isn't within that is in the low spend month. So I want to continue that to the best of my ability. And I think I'm just going to leave the final two blank for now. I might come back to them, not necessarily in the video, but more in terms of what I am going to talk about later, if that makes sense. But anyways, so let's get into the really exciting bit, the actual budget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom these in so you can really see what I'm going to do. What I have done for this month ahead is I'm going to come back to the income, because what I would like to do is I've got enough money left in my account, but what I would really like to do is try and have as much possible to go towards my uni house for second year throughout the summer. So basically, I'm not going to write an income, but I want to try and keep this month's budget really tight and quite small, because there's not necessarily tons I need to spend on. So I'm going to skip income for now. I'm going to go straight into my bills. So there's 3 bills that I'm going to be considering for this month. We're going to be doing subscriptions, which are, I always when it comes to writing the word subscription, I always feel like I'm going to do a really bad job of it. Oh, can you see? That's better. Hobbies. And we also have laundry. Now, for this month of April, I'm only actually at uni for, well, I'm technically not actually at uni until the 28th. However, I am going to come back a week early, so I am technically here for like a full week. So I do want to give myself £4.40 for laundry. That is just because I've done a double wash today, as you've seen in the calendar before, for March. And what I am going to do is I shouldn't need to do a laundry till the very end. I have got an exam, so potentially the laundry might get pushed back, but I will just see with that. It might end up getting done like after my exam's over, because my first exam's on the 30th of April. So this month it might either get no laundry or it might be that. So I'm going to give myself one wash in case I need to do it, but it may not occur. Hobbies, I will give myself another £1.99. I haven't used it in February or March, because what I've begun doing is I have basically not bought any pictures yet. Sorry, don't mind me blowing my nose, it's running. But basically I haven't bought any pictures for my scrapbook. I'm kind of like building them up and then gonna buy them all in one. Because I get 45 per month and I only really need like 10 each time. So basically either April or May I will buy them. I plan to get them in April, but I might get them in May, just depending on what's going to be best. And for subscriptions, now this is going to have a bit of a change. So last month it was £8.80. Now this is going to get a big reduction. This is going to now become £2.19. And that is because I am going to cancel my Netflix. So I mentioned this in my mid-month catch up for the month of March. I'm just going to move these a bit up just to hopes that it doesn't blur as much. But as I mentioned, for the month of March, in like my mid-month debrief sort of thing, that I'm thinking of cancelling it, and I think I am going to. I don't watch it enough, I think, to justify it, and I might come back to it. At the end of the day, it's not as if when I cancel it disappears forever. It's just a case of I can get it when I want it. So I'm going to cancel it for now. I'm going to come back to it shortly, potentially. So I will review it at the end of April potentially and see, am I happy continuing with this? I reckon I will be. So altogether, I'm going to get my calculator out so you can see that. And then we're going to, at the bottom, just down here, write what that saves, what that comes to. So we've got £2.19, £1.99 and £4. Oh, that'll times it. And £4.40. That is really good. £8.58 altogether. So that is fantastic. So let's bring you over to the envelopes, which I will pop here for you. So envelopes, we are going to do two, because I've moved household down into sinking funds. So we are going to just do groceries and spending money, which is very exciting. So we've got groceries and spending money. So I'm just going to put spending for that. Let me move yours back up a bit just so you can see that's a bit better for yours, isn't it? So in terms of groceries for this month, I've kind of mentioned that I'm only at uni for 1 week, and if I want any sort of like snacks or food at home, it'll come out of my spending because it's not like a full groceries. So that is going to come to, now I have said 30 when I've pre-planned this. I think I'm going to up that to 35 because I think 30 potentially might be a bit too small and I will overspend, and I'd rather give myself the extra fiver to prevent an overspend, if that makes sense. But obviously anything that isn't spent gets added to that pot, which will then get moved into another account to save for my uni second year, like throughout the summer. Oh my god, my voice in this video is awful. I do apologise. Still recovering. I feel like I am almost there. And it's like, it's that almost bit. And it's like, I feel like whenever I film a video, my voice gets really bad. And it's really not fun. It's the only time when it's like this, which is really funny. It's probably because I'm speaking a lot. Spending. So with spending, I want to get the calendar down just for this. So I usually will give myself £15 a week for when I'm at home. So I do this every Saturday. So obviously this week we'll get 15. This week here, however, as you can see, it's in purple. That is because I'm on holiday and my birthday is here. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to just give myself £10 because it'll basically be the Saturday, Sunday, and then my birthday. That'll get that money because the rest of that money will be for Norway and that'll be in a different currency, and I've already got that planned. So I think I'll do a 15 and then a 10, and then I'll be back at uni after that roughly. So it'll just be back to 10s again. So we'll do 15, 10, 10 and 10, which is 45. Now that balances out the exact same way because originally this is going to be 30 and this is going to be 50. So really that doesn't make too big of a difference. It still keeps that at 80, but it just, I think, works out a bit better. So now I'm going to list my sinking funds. So we have got home, which is for current, like sort of more decor style things. So the most recent purchase in that, I bought a, what do you call them, like a fleece thing. Oh, they've got a name and I can't think of it. They're like really soft blanket type things. Household, not self-care, sorry, study supplies, self-care, which is that, treats, we've got out/social, we've got societies, and we've got travel / I always put /bus. I don't know why. It's not as if bus does not come under travel. Can my phone please just focus for 1 minute when I'm writing? That would be nice. Thank you, phone. I don't even know if it actually comes out like all blurred. I don't actually think it does, but you know, if it does, oh dear, it's annoying. So with this, we are going to give ourselves nothing for home because at the moment I'm saving more for home in my savings challenges. That's more of a priority, so that's going to be the focus. We're going to also do household, which is going to get 5 for the month. So that's mainly just for supplies, like cleaning supplies, and I do need to get quite a few of them in April. So that 5 will probably get used. Study supplies is going to get nothing because I don't need any. And it's very rare I do use them. I just have like £8.50. It was a tenner, but I did end up using £1.50 right at the beginning of October. And I just can't be bothered to put £1.50 in. I don't use it enough to justify. If I haven't used it in that long, I think what it's got in is fine, and that'll do is when the summer comes. Self-care, we'll get another 5. I am going to get my hair cut before this video goes out, so self-care will be down in terms of its money. And my next haircut will probably not be till like the end of May. I think my plan is for that, so we should be okay with that for now. It's got about £25, so that rounded up to 30. It's got plenty in that one. Maybe a bit too much. But you know, it's good to be over instead of under. Treats is going to get 3. So I've spent quite a bit in treats. I bought myself a jacket out of treats. It was reduced from, I think, £29 to £8 when I went out shopping, and I really liked it. And I thought it'd be perfect for when I go on my little trip, not to Norway, but a little trip I'm going on with my parents at the end of March. So I thought that'll go really nice for that, and it was £8. And I thought, I took the £10 worth of treat money. I thought, you know what, I'll treat myself using that. So that'll round that up to 5, which is perfect for exam season. I'll come back to out. Societies will be getting nothing. Travel and bus. I have given it £10. I actually think I should top that up to 15. For one reason, and that is for when I come back from my trip. So I'm gonna get to the airport. Thankfully my dad's given us a lift, but on the way back I'm gonna get the metro back from the airport, so that'll also need to be factored in. And I probably will just take this out this normal budget. It should be okay. If it comes out the holiday budget, it comes out the holiday budget. We'll just figure that out. And then the dreaded out and social. Let me quickly just add up how much we're at present, so then it makes it easier for you. I think what I'm going to do with that is, should I do 50? Will 50 be enough? Let me have a little think. I'm just trying to think of when I see people probably. I think 50 should be enough. Actually, I think 50 would be too much, but you know, we'll give myself 50. And then that obviously does help with the holidays a bit, but obviously I also have extra spending money there. So if I add 50 to that, that is £78. So altogether, 78 add 80, add £8.58 is £166.58, which I think would be absolutely fantastic if that's how much we actually spend all month in terms of the rest of the budget. I think for the month that we are hoping to have, that would be absolutely ideal. So yeah, that's going to be a hope and a prayer that that is going to be the actual budget. But what I think I'm going to do, so with this video, it is going to be a long video, I know that. And I knew I'm going to do a cash stuff next. So if anything does change, I'll update that next time I film. And we'll have a cash stuffing to go along with this as well. So for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you very shortly. Okay, so this is now a few days, well, it's about a week and a half later, that I've finally been to the bank. So what I've done is in here, I've popped my money for my cash stuffing. So I've just put that in the back there. And then in my other binder here, we're just going to very quickly go through it along with my budgeting book, which is here. And we're basically going to sort out the money. So I've got the money just back here like that. So I'm going to pop it just on top of my computer there, so you can't really see it in view. But let me just get my budget out for the month of March. I'm also going to be doing a video very shortly reviewing my budget for, I'm going to do my budget for April. I'm going to do a video very shortly reviewing the month of March. So, as you can see, I've highlighted the pages. So, the green here, which you can't really see very well on the camera, is for what's going to come out my card, and this here's for cash. So let me first of all look at this. So home's going to get nothing. Household is Sweet Supplies is going to get nothing. Groceries is going to get 35, so that should be at the back. So, oh, maybe not. I'll do 30. Is that correct? 35. So I've got 5, 15, 25 and 35. And that is basically all I need to do is one little grocery shop for that. Spending money, which is not in here, that's in a different binder, but we'll do that now because that is probably the most important in here. So we need to do 10, 20, 30, 40 and 5. I'm giving myself more fibres just to make my life a bit easier. I think fibres are so much easier when it comes to this. I'll pop that away though. Okay, and then we've got £10 left, which is correct. 5 are going to self-care. 5 are to go into household. And then I also need to take £3 out of my little back to bank envelope because it makes so more sense for coins. I basically just keep them spare. And that is to go into treats because it is going to be exam season shortly. And I like to have a little sweet treat once I finish an exam, you know, so I want to make sure I've got a bit of money for that. So that is that bit all done. Nice and quick and simple. So that's the end of today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.